Hello again, this is Bev here at Clarko Vision, and I'm here now to do a contest entry for Brendan Van D over at his channel in Australia. Now Brendan is fairly new to the vinyl or music community, but he's gaining lots of viewers quickly, and rightly so, because he has a great channel. He's into a lot of the hard rock, the metal, the thrash, the power metal, the stuff like that, the epic stuff. He's into a bit of Blind Guardian and Avantasia, which myself, I'm getting into that as well. In fact, I love Avantasia, that stuff's great. And Brendan, he's recently acquired over 100 subscribers, so to hit that milestone he thought he would just throw out a little contest. And so this is my entry, and I'm going to put this on just now, and hopefully it won't take forever to do it, but I've a few things I've pulled out. And I will leave a link below in the box for you to find your way across to Brendan's channel, and if you haven't subscribed I suggest you do. He's a great guy, comes over really well, and he's, as I say, he's got really interesting stuff to show. He quite often gets the opportunity to grab a Japanese pressing or two from one of his regular suppliers, and it's always nice to see the Japanese stuff, I must admit. Speaking of which, that's what I'm going to kick off my entry with. So the contest itself is titled The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and Brendan's got 3 things he's asked for, one being the good, one being the bad, and one being the ugly. So we're going to start with the good. So the good, it means you have to show something from your collection that you have that's something that you cherish, that means a lot to you, is special, or it's rare, or it was expensive or hard to get a hold of, or a promo or something that's a bit unique or unusual, or if you've just got something with amazing super cool artwork. So of course the super cool artwork, I could have showed loads, to be honest, because I've had quite a few amazing artworks come in recently, Glory Hammer being one of them there. But I'm going to start off showcasing a CD, and it is a Japanese issue. There's the OBI, and it's Magnum's latest, actually. It's Lost on the Road to Eternity. Yes, that's the title of the album, Lost on the Road to Eternity. And you can see the whole thing, it's one big picture, and it's very like some kind of fantasy epic with various characters, wizards and fairies and all kinds of animal figures. You know, this is like a lion here, I think, and there's some kind of bridge. I don't know if that's the road to eternity, perhaps, but brilliant artwork, lots of detail. So that was the first one. And speaking of fantastic artwork, I thought I would just quickly show this. I mean, this is a favourite because it's Iron Maiden, and I love Iron Maiden, and I love this piece of art. Eddie smashing through the ancient Egyptian Eddie stuff. Just very, so that is those two. I'm going to switch it to that side. Next up for the good is this one here. This is quite unusual. It is not an official issue, it's bootleg. And it's Def Leppard, Sugar on the Rocks from their Hysteria tour. This is a 1987 concert, and it cost me a small fortune to get. It is very hard to get a hold of. It's a double LP, there's 4 sides. There's one record here. It's not a gatefold sleeve though. They both will fit into the one sleeve, but I'm just keeping one outside it as not to put a strain on it. There's the other one, obviously. And the cover's been made up out of press cuttings and images from the UK press. Because that is an article from the Hysteria tour, which I've had. It was from something like Sounds magazine. This is a photo from the tour, and that is all the track listing. Another photo, and this is from there's a poster in Smash Hits magazine, which they've put on the front. I had that as well in colour. But the reason this is so special to me is because it's live at Edinburgh Playhouse in September the 2nd, 1987. Now, that is a gig from my hometown in Edinburgh. And I missed that, and they came back in April 1988 and did 2 nights at Edinburgh Playhouse as well. But I don't know if there's a recording of any of those shows available. Not that I know of, but to get this one, this is the first one from the Hysteria tour. This was just after Animal had hit the charts. It was in the top 10. So they sold it. When I think back, I could have been there, but I just missed them. I would have been, at this point, 11 years old, I think. Would that be right? No, not even 11. I'd have been 2 months shy of my 11th birthday, practically, at this point, so I was quite young. And I missed them in 88 as well. I ended up seeing Belinda Carlisle instead that year. I kind of was just discovering them at this point. So basically this means a lot to me because it's Steve Clark and his band playing at my hometown local venue. And it's a great show. The only disappointing thing, it is not the best audio. However, it's just to have it because of what it means to me. And it is not cheap to get either, unfortunately. I did pay more than what I would have liked, but the chances of me ever finding it again at a cheaper price, you know. And so another one that I have, which is, again, is quite expensive. It's a little bit rare. It's quite tricky to track down. And if you do track it down, it's going to set you back a little bit of money, and it's a Japanese promo. Is it a promo? I can't even remember if it's actually a promo. I think it is. Yes, it is. Anyway, it's Japanese, and it was Rock Brigade on single, backed with Hello America down here. Now, Rock Brigade was only issued in Japan and the United States as a single, and I think it was promotional reasons. It's a white label, and that's the promotional symbol or logo there in Japanese. So yeah, it is the promo. And this, I was thrilled to get it again because early Def Leppard stuff, it means a lot to me. It really does. Compared to what they are now, which means nothing to me, the new stuff. It's quite amazing, the difference, so that's another special one. And the most prized of all of my possessions for the good, again, this is Def Leppard again, because the most cherished things I have, it is my copy of High and Dry. It's an original 1980, when did this come out? 81? 1981 UK pressing. And the reason it is so special is because the inner sleeve is autographed by the 5 members of the band. Although this is people will have owned this album. It's Phil Collen who signed it because it was signed in 1988. But specifically, it's been autographed by Steve Clark. That's his signature right there, and that is what makes this amazingly special to me. But it's got all the band members, and it's in absolutely lovely condition as well. So that there is my one of my prized possessions. So that was the good, and I'll just shove this away so that I don't need to worry about it. If I can get it in. Sorry about that. So now on to the bad, which was, Brendan says, the bad will be like any manufacturing defects or media defects to the actual record itself, typing errors on the labels, or label issues, or warts, or cracks, or scratches, or stuff like that. So the first one I'm going to show for the bad is this 7-inch single. This was one of the first records I ever got, but I got it as a Christmas present the very first year I got a hi-fi, which would be Christmas 87. And this was in the charts just not long before Christmas 87. Satellite by the Hooters. So this was a Christmas gift. And from the very first day that it was bought, I guess, I mean, the record looks lovely. There's nothing to see that looks wrong with it anywhere specifically. It just has a few surface marks on it now from years of play, but the second you put this record on, you've got this terrible muffling, scratching sound that comes, and it plays all the way through the song. It's quite loud, and it's been there since the day Dad or Santa Claus brought it home for the record store that year, and it's quite audible, and you hear it obviously when it starts, before the song actually kicks in, and right at the end of the song. You kind of hear it all the way through. So it's had like noise on it since it came out the factory, I think. So that's one. It didn't put me off at the time. You could still listen to the record, obviously, but it was very noticeable. It's one of the worst records for noise I've actually got. Next up for the bad is Def Leppard again, actually, and it's the Photograph 12-inch single, UK issue. Now you'll notice here, side A, Photograph, side B, Bringing on the Heartbreak, and then you've got the band and produced by, etc. So you've got one song on each side. However, on the record itself, you've got Photograph on side 1, which is fine, but on side 2, and you can possibly see that anyway with the grooves, there is 2 songs there. There is 2 songs on this. You have Bringing on the Heartbreak and Mirror, Mirror, Look Into My Eyes. Getting a good reflection of me there. So yeah, just so basically, on the back cover here, they have omitted the second song on side B, which is Mirror, Mirror, Look Into My Eyes. It's not on here, but it is on the record. So that's obviously a manufacturing fault. And another little mini error which I notice is Steve Clark's name, Clark, spelt correctly there without the E. He doesn't have an E on his name. And down here it's got Clark with an E, which is another error. So these little things just... But it happens, I guess. So it's just... That's that one, for the back cover versus the record. Next one for the bad. I have a copy of Saxon's Denim and Leather, which I fairly recently acquired. Lovely condition on the outer sleeve and the record itself. However, what I did notice was that, now this, I don't know how well you can read this to be honest, but you've got denim and leather, and over here you have side 2, right? And you've got the track listings for tracks 1 to 4, and the band played on is the first one. See, it's not too clear here, I do apologise. But then you turn it over, and you have side 2 again, with the 4 tracks, the same track listing. So I've got a record here with 2 side 2 labels, and no side 1 labels. So there's another fault from the factory, but you can figure out what's what, obviously, because of the inscribed, whatchamacallits, on the runout, the matrix scribblings. So you can work it out. So that was an interesting little error there. 2 labels for side 2 on denim and leather. And second last for the bad, here I've got another couple here. This is another interesting one. This album is Bonfire's Fireworks, their second album from 1987. It's an original German pressing, that's the German tour dates. Now on the back cover here, this is noted on Discogs as well actually, as track 1, 2, 3, track 4 and side 2. They've failed to print the title of the track and they've just got a question mark in here. So that's, I don't know how that came about, but that's printed, it was printed on quite a few like this, I think, a question mark. Now, on the inner sleeve, the 4th track on side 2, that's it there, it should be called Fantasy. So that's an error in itself on the outer sleeve. And then furthermore, I noticed on this one, on the inner labels again, you've got Bonfire and it's on the MSA label. You'll see clearly it's got A there for side A. And on the other side as well, you have another side A label. Again, the same as the Saxon record, except they had side 2. This one has got 2 side A sticker labels. So it's the same scenario. You can work out what's what by reading the matrix. So that's got kind of like a double fault on it. Labels and the song title here being missed out for whatever reason. I don't know how that came about. I'll just pop that down there just now and sort them a little bit afterwards. And the final one for the bad I picked up this David Coverdale gatefold, David Coverdale Whitesnake, and it's from the Connoisseur collection. I think it's a special release, and it's got Northwinds on it. John at Vinylizer will probably know all about this. It's got his solo albums, which I think is Northwinds, and some early Whitesnake stuff. Now, it's in very nice condition. There's a little mark where there's been a sticky label there. But I'm looking at this, and I got this for about £2 at a charity shop. I'm looking at the vinyl for the first one when I got home, checking it over. I had a quick glance in the shop. Spotless, not a mark on it, and here's the second vinyl for side 3 and 4, and I was checking it over again, and alas, I spotted, I don't know how well this is going to show up, to be honest, here, but get it, there it is, right here, right in Now let me just see. You might not be able to see it, but there is it's just caught in the light reflection there, a crack right here, right on the edge. You can actually feel my nail rubbing over it. But yeah, there is an actual, and it is a split. It's a split right on the edge of the record, and I don't really want to push it any further. But just it's about a centimetre in length. It goes in on the run-on and just goes very slightly into the beginning of track 1. And I haven't dared play this record yet. I played the first one and it's beautiful. I haven't put this one on because I'm frightened in case it damages the stylus, and I just don't want to do that. But there is, as I say, there is a little split, and you can see it on both sides, so it is right through. So that was a real disappointment, unfortunately. So I don't know what to do with this record. My initial plan was I was going to VCLT it to somebody. As I say, the first side is great. This one would probably play fine if you just remembered to put the stylus just a little bit in on the first track, and it would probably be okay. But whether you would remember that all the time or whatever, it's not the same. Or if somebody has this and they maybe want an upgraded cover or an upgrade of the first record, they can let me know, because it's something I don't want to keep. But if anybody thinks they may have a use for it, give me a shout. So, and we're now on to the ugly, which is question 3. Show something which you think is just downright ugly or cheesy, as in a cover, which is either horrible or dull or cheesy, as you say, or ugly. Or the cover is in such a bad condition, if it's been water damaged or something's been stuck to it or torn or left a mark or split. So the first one I've got is Rail and their album Arrival. This one is it 1983, this is a US band, and I just think there's a slight bit of cheese about this. The look, the early 80s kind of, and the clothing, it just a little bit of cheese. It's not the cheesiest I've ever seen, but there's a little bit of cheese in there. And then for the ugly side of album covers, I'm going to throw this one in. It's not the best Scorpions cover. I know one or two others don't think it's overly marvellous, but I just find this whole chewing gum stuck to her breast is a bit pathetic. It's just, I don't know what they're trying to... So I would say that's kind of ugly. And then for ugly as in looks, yep, again, I've picked up Cauldron's latest album, New Gods. Fantastic album, absolutely wonderful, but this creature thing, it looks like some kind of snail thing with fangs or something. I just think it looks really ugly and a bit horrible, so I'm not overly thrilled about the cover of that. But the album, fantastic. I urge you to buy the album. Then, ugly again. Not so much ugly, it's more just boring. It is kind of ugly. I just find this is a bit ugly. It's a set of stone steps and a high heel shoe. So not much happening there. At least the steps are clean and not full of chewing gum marks or something like that, I suppose. To make it even uglier. That was Chicago. Another one, Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me 12-inch record. This is a lovely copy I managed to find. In excellent condition. There's barely a mark anywhere. There's just a slight mark here, as if something's been stuck at one time, or maybe it's to do with ring wear. But the only blemish at all, if it is that, is Maggie has very kindly wrote her name at the top corner here, which is a slight disappointment. I suppose the saving grace is she wrote it quite neatly, but I just find it a little bit annoying when people write their names on things. But that's that one, writing. And the last one for my ugly, this is a recent acquisition as well, and I got this as VCLT from Jim Davies, but it definitely counts in the ugly category because the cover is a bit of a state, I have to confess. It's very worn around the edges. It's got a bit of a bashed cover. It's a gatefold as well. Plenty of ring wear to see, and I don't know what's happened at the bottom here. Excuse me, I've got an itchy nose. But something has been stuck to it, and I think I don't want to pull that, but I think something's stuck to it at some point, and when it's been pulled away, it's pulled off a bit of the record, and you've got this bit on the bottom here, which is, I don't know if this is from whatever was stuck to it or if it's meant to be part of this. So I don't know what that's all about, but it's in a bit of a shabby state, shall we say. That's bottom corners, so both sets of corners are a bit wobbit looking. The inside looks a bit better. The record itself, the inner cover looks a bit stained and wrinkly, but it's not too bad. The record itself, I think, there is some surface marks. I've not played this one yet, still in the queue. I've played the other Nazareth one, Hair of the Dog. There is a bit of scuffing on it, but I don't think I should have much in the way of issues with the record. There is some surface marks, but it looks in much better condition than the cover. So that is my... I could have threw in another couple of Def Leppard ones in this, but I thought I'll not take them all away. I won't bore you, as I'll not take them all away in case John at Vinylizer decides to do an entry, and he might want to throw the other ones, and he'll know what they are as well. But yeah, so that's that. Brendan, brilliant on your channel. You can continue to go up in subscribers because that's what should be happening. You've got a great channel. I look forward to seeing what your updates are. And people, his links below. If you haven't subscribed, I do urge you to check them out. Really good stuff. So thanks a lot and well done on your 100, and I'm sure you'll be well on your way to the next milestone as soon as, and I shall see you all later. Bye.